Hey, it's Seth Godin. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be talking to you today about one of my heroes, Zig Ziglar. I want to tell you a story. I was a door-to-door salesman using the telephone instead of my feet, bringing ideas to book publishers. My first year, I sold my first idea the first day, then I got 900 rejections in a row over the next 12 months. Every time I interacted with anybody for any reason, they either sent me a no by mail or hung up on me. 900. I could just draw that out if you wanted to. And then I started selling some other things, and I was really hard up. And one of the things that happens when you want to share something with the world is not only does the world shut you down, but your lizard brain shuts you down. That prehistoric, pre-evolutionary voice in the back of your head that's telling you how dare you, that you're not going to amount to anything, that you have no right to do this, that it's never going to work, and that you should go be a bank teller. And that voice was getting louder and louder in my head, and my mother-in-law's over here, but we won't get into that. And then I discovered, and I wish I remembered how, this guy from Yazoo City. And I started listening to the tapes the way he suggested, and I bought 72 hours worth of them, and I listened to them so many times that I melted them, and I bought another set, and I melted them, and I wanted to go to Dallas for the 3-day session, but I couldn't go because I couldn't afford it, and I wasn't getting a lot of supporting going. And I was listening and listening and listening, and then what happened is Zig's voice got louder than that little voice in the back of my head. And I could tell you 50 different stories. I'm on the backup list for Zig. Anytime he can't make it, I can even do the accent. I got the money right here, ready to go. But what I can tell you is it changed my life. And the only reason that you have ever read my blog or ever read any of my books is because for 5 years when I really needed Zig, he was there for me. And you got to start somewhere. I don't care where you start. Starting with Zig is as good a place as any. But you've got to stop that stinking thinking. You've got to look for some go lights, and you've got to make a difference and do work that matters. And I'm glad that Tom and Zig are encouraging us to keep doing that. So thanks for listening, and go read something.
I will never forget that as a young teenager of 12 or 14 years old, I was trapped in the back of a Chevy Impala. You got it. We're on the family vacation. My dad and mom, who were in the real estate business, had on the front seat of the Chevy Impala the dreaded machine. At least it was dreaded by those of us that were young teenagers. The dreaded machine was the cassette player. No, the car did not have a cassette player. This was one of those that you sat in the front seat and played. On that cassette was a man teaching philosophies of life that I later found were going to change my life. That voice coming over that cassette was the voice with that wonderful Mississippi drawl of my good friend Zig Ziglar. That voice said things like, "You hit what you aim at, and if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time." That voice spoke of my unlimited potential. That voice taught me that I was born to win. That voice has taught a lot of Americans and a lot of people over the years, the last 50 plus years of speaking and millions of books being sold. Zig Ziglar has changed the way people think about and do sales, the way they think about and do business, the way they think about and do family. This man is a national treasure, and he's a national icon.